Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming, and today I'd say reviewing more than going to play, but I'm going to play a little part of a game called Ashes of God's Redemption. So if you've watched this channel at all, at any point, you'll know I kind of have about 3 different types of videos. I make one is where I make comments about the video game industry. This isn't that. The second one is where I drop into games that I don't usually make many videos about. Often they're AAA games, and I'll just talk about my thoughts about a particular game I've enjoyed or not enjoyed or played. And the other is where I talk about usually less well-known games that I've picked up, and you know, how you start them, how you play them, and go through a little series. And this is really going to be more of the second one. It's a game that I'm going to play maybe 2 videos of. I'm not going to do a this is how you play, although this is going to be a kind of video a bit like that, just to give you the gist. But it's going to be more of a this is a game I picked up and this is what I thought about it. But I'm going to make 2 videos to emphasise my kind of thoughts. They won't be long, although this game is drawn out, and I'll go through some of the bits I've not shown you when we get to. This is the first kind of battle that's not a tutorial. The first tutorial is very basic. This game is a turn-based game, if you don't know it. It's got differences to other turn-based games, of course they all have, but it runs. If you've played turn-based games, if you played XCOM and those things, you'll pick it up pretty fast. It's not hard to pick up. The reason I'm starting it now without any other prologue is because it's very, very wordy, and there's a couple of problems with that which I'm not going to show you because it's too wordy to show you. It has a lot of story, which is good and bad, but it gets into story very quickly, and there's a lot of words, there's a lot of writing, and other than a narrator, the actual characters don't actually have voices, but there's a lot of them talking in written dialogue, and then when they're talking in written dialogue, they kind of make sounds like or and that's kind of it. That wouldn't be a problem if the game had less dialogue, but it's got tons of dialogue. So you'll very quickly kind of get bogged down in these conversations where they're talking and they're going but there's lots of written dialogue to read, or if not, the narrator's talking a lot. I think to get to this point of the first little baby battle, I must have spent like nearly 10 minutes going through bits and pieces. So, and it continues like that through the game. So anyway, when I was first playing this, I thought it was a bit heavy on the wordy side and heavy on the exposition side, but okay, it is what it is. But it's also kind of slow in the combat, and again, I didn't mind that, so I like turn-based games, so I was quite okay with it. But anyway, we'll just play a little bit and you'll see what I mean. So this is the battle system. Again, like I said, you have turns. You also have a little card system which I'll show you. You have cards you can use that boost your stats, or they can deficit the enemy stats. You can use them when you wish. And there's our attacks. We've got different attacks we can do. Again, not different to lots of games. There's a little bars of energy and health, which you have to play around with a little bit, and you can use different parts of them, but I'm not going to go into all the systems of this game because I'm not doing that kind of video with this game. It's not hard to pick up. Like I said, if you play turn-based games, or even if you haven't, it's not a hard game to pick up, other than you might get a bit lost in the, not translation, but in the amount of things going on, the amount of different bits and pieces, and the amount of dialogue. You might get lost before you get to this point. So let's just use one of the cards to show you how that works. So we can increase their health by 10. so now we can shoot him, I think. Okay, no, we'll hit him actually. Double strike, okay, that sounds good. It's a while since I played this, so I'm kind of almost learning it again. I decided not to go into a long session where I tried to remember all the controls. So I literally just played the tutorial to get into this mission. If I lose this, I'm not going to do it again. It's not a, this is how you do it, like I said, kind of video. It's a, let me show you. So you can see how the turn-based kind of thing works. So, she can do, she might want to go away. Actually, she's more of a ranged unit, although she's got a sword, but she's got a weapon. So we'll go here. We can do some defensive bits and pieces. Use, I think we'll just end their turn. And I'm probably making this look quite complicated, but that's because, like I said, I've not really been paying attention, and my sole goal with this was to kind of get to a bit of combat so you could see it, not so I could play it really well or show you how everything's done. So there you go, we've got, that'll do. Maybe we can't do that. Knock back. Okay, that works, like that. I think the first time I played this, I found that they were all trying to kill her because she's slightly weaker. She's not actually weaker, she's just got different attacks, but she's not as good with melee. You get the usual things where you find weapons and you find stats and you can boost people and etc, etc, etc. So at the top you can see you've got like a little meter where you've got time to do your turn, but you're not going to run out of that unless you're very slow. So you can use a card. I can use a card on him, reduces his health, that's fine because he's right in front of us, so to reduce his health by 10 sounds like a good plan. If he hits him, well, we really want to get rid of, he's got a strike back thing, so that's good. We really want to get rid of the extra person because once you've only got one and you've got two, it's generally beneficial. She can shoot. She can kill him, actually, that's better. Okay, so now we've got 1 against 2, which usually works out well in most games because the main thing it means, you can see already how it's going to work out, is because you get 2 turns for their 1. So even if you've got 2 people that are pretty low on health, it works the same in XCOM. If you've got 2 people that are low on health, but there's 2 of them, you get extra turns. And I've found in many turn-based games, numbers, because you get extra turns, is sometimes better than having 1 super strong unit. Doesn't always work out like that, but you can end this. Knock back we can't do because, can we do that? I don't know. No, he's not near enough, so we'll just end our turn. Doesn't matter, he's going to die. You can see he's got very low health, he's got no... The yellow thing is energy, which you can swap around with and play around with. I'm not going to explain all that in this because, like I said, it's not that kind of video. Actually, let's see if we can... Yeah, we'll reduce his attack even more. The cards can be quite useful, actually. It's like any game that's got these kind of systems. They can be quite... I don't know if that's the stupidest thing anyone's ever done, go and stand between 2 people. But usually the AI in this game is fine. I've not found it to be particularly bad. she can only do a bow attack, so I'm going to put her over here. I think that's what that means. I can't remember actually. So you can see the combat is okay in a turn-based kind of way, but the problem is it feels. I don't know if I can do that. Let's see. Yeah, we can. He's going to die. It feels slow. I don't know why it feels slow. Then you get some dialogue. I'll come to that in a minute. So yeah, the combat, as you can see, it's fine. It pans out the same as Age of Wonders or Disciples Liberation or many other games that we've played. But it feels kind of slow, and I was trying to work out why that is, because point for point, what's the difference? In this, you're moving someone and clicking on them to do something, and that works the same in XCOM. So I think when I thought about this when I was playing it the first time, and I've kind of only replayed this twice. I played my first playthrough, which went on quite a while, and then I played this time, and that's it. And I'll explain why in the next video. But I think it's because the characters don't say anything, and even if they say something inconsequential, which they kind of do, or funny like they do in Disciples Liberation, or they say the things they do in XCOM 2, for example, that adds to the way the battle feels like it's alive. It's also to do with the graphics and to do with the things they're shooting at each other. But in all those games, Disciples Liberation, which is swords and spells like this, and Phantom Doctrine, which is old-fashioned weapons, 80s guns and things, and with XCOM, which is futuristic weapons. The difference between all those isn't the fighting styles or the weapons or the special effects, it's the kind of way the combat feels, and I think it's because all those games have some kind of voices to the characters. Yeah, sometimes they're saying the same things, but they all add to how you feel, and it adds to the kind of realness of the battle and the realness of the characters. I think that's the kind of thing that's missing in this, and like I said, it is very wordy, so we'll see. I don't remember much of this game, so you can see now you just get a lot of dialogue. It tells you what's kind of going on, but it would be nice if these things were voiced, especially like I said, because there's so much of it. And also in this game, which is a bit you get victory and you get gold like normal, you get experience, that's kind of normal. And then we'll get a whole load more exposition. So yeah, it also in this game, which is kind of odd, you end up playing as 3 different characters. There's a monk and a samurai kind of guy, and these two are father and daughter. They can all, well, the father and daughter at least can get extra party members for their army, but you kind of swap between 3 different characters, which is a bit odd. I think in the tutorial you're playing a monk who's very involved in the story. I won't try to explain it because I can't really remember it, but then you play these two, and then later on you play this kind of samurai guy, and it's a bit odd because although I'm guessing the stories link up and they're all linked to do with the greater events in the world, again, because the story's so wordy and it's not voiced, you don't really feel linked, and so when it jumps to a new character, which would even be hard in XCOM or something like that, it's kind of like, So, and I already knew it did that because I read a little review before I bought this, so I kind of knew it was going to do that, and I still found it like, So as you can see, this is some of the story. You get a lot of reading, you get these choices, which are, some apparently make a difference, some don't. I'm just going to show you this so you can see. And you get a lot of this, which you've got to read. If you don't like reading, don't buy this game. That's my advice, because you do need to pay attention because some choices matter. But you can see there's loads of reading, where even if the narrator was narrating this, it would be slightly better, but it would be like 100% better if you got voice acting to cover these different characters, because there's too much writing compared to how much there isn't voice acting. Like if it was XCOM and you've got very little interaction other than Bradford or somebody saying something to Shen or the commander, if that was only narrated or worded, it wouldn't be quite as bad because there's not as much of it. But and this is just loads. I'm not saying that it's kind of wouldn't matter because the voice acting is very good in that, and it works well. But This is the longest game with story and exposition and not voice acting I've ever seen. So there you can see how this kind of pans out. You get all these little cutscenes where nobody says anything. And if you heard that, someone goes, hmm. And everyone looks. The animation's nice. I like the animation. There's nothing wrong with that. It's nice for the kind of game it is. And I'm assuming the voice acting not being in it is a financial thing. I can't believe they thought that all this writing with no voice acting would actually be like, this is the way to go. And in that sense, yeah, it's a good choice, because bad voice acting, as you know, with games, would have been worse. If they'd had really bland voice acting or just got their friends at the publishers or the video game makers to voice it, it would have been worse. So in that sense, they made the right choice, but good voice acting would have benefited this game a huge amount. And then you get another kind of... So that's, you can see there's a lot of this. And then you get this part where you can go and talk to different people. There's a gate where you can kind of go and do something. I'm not going to go for this, but it goes on forever. And you get the general gist of the game. So you've seen how it is. You've kind of seen the combat, which is serviceable. It's okay. I would say, like I said, it does feel slow, partly because there's no voice acting, not even people making very short exclamations. But it does feel kind of slow. But I think it feels slow because, as you've seen, the gaps between the combat and the rest is just really slow. And again, with no voice acting, loads of dialogue, lots of story exposition, it becomes kind of a drag. So I played this quite a lot more, and I'll show you when I kind of finished it, because I'm going to go back in the next video, which is going to be the only other video I make on this game, to where I kind of gave up. So... and it will also show you another kind of character in the game. So that's this video. Thanks for watching. Like I said, I will sum up my thoughts on this game in the next video, but that's my thoughts to now. Like I said, this isn't meant to be a video to show you how to play. I've jumped in after the tutorial. I've not really explained all the combat. I've just given you a kind of basic look and a basic look at the game. But like I said, it's a nice looking game. If you like this kind of game, it's not glitzy like XCOM, but it's a nice looking game. But it misses out on voice acting, kind of urgency, and kind of coherence. But anyway, thanks for watching. Guessagaingaming, playing Ash of God's Redemption. In the meantime, take care for now.